Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to present at the inaugural Gallatin Science Symposium. My name is Kristen Gardner. I am Chief Executive Science Officer of the Gallatin River Task Force, which is a nonprofit watershed group headquartered in Big Sky and working in the Upper Gallatin watershed, which we consider to be upstream of Gallatin Valley to the headwaters in Yellowstone National Park. The task force has been collecting data on the Gallatin River and its tributaries for 25 years. For this lightning talk, I'm going to discuss data from recent groundwater studies that have shed light on nitrogen sources to the West Fork of the Gallatin River, which is a main tributary draining the center of Big Sky. To get you oriented, here is a map of the Upper Gallatin watershed, and the red circle is the West Fork of the Gallatin. Zooming in on the West Fork, the red circle shows the location where recent groundwater data has helped to better understand nitrogen sources to the West Fork. This reach of the West Fork travels through the Big Sky Golf Course. Nitrogen data collected by the task force from the West Fork has consistently exceeded the state water quality standards for nitrogen downstream of the golf course. Our data shows an increase in nitrogen concentrations over the reach of the West Fork, colored in red, about midway through the West Fork's journey through the golf course. The golf course is irrigated from May through September with treated wastewater effluent from the Big Sky Water and Sewer District. Since the TMDL development in 2010, the assumption, an elephant in the room, has been that the irrigation water was likely causing the observed increase in nitrogen concentrations over this reach. Here is a visual of the new Big Sky Water and Sewer District wastewater treatment plant, its wastewater storage ponds, and the golf course to the west. Big Sky, unlike most communities in Montana, does not discharge treated wastewater into surface water. Rather, it is recycled for golf course and park irrigation, and more recently, snowmaking. To better understand nutrient sources to the river and potential threats to the public drinking water supply, two recent groundwater studies have shed light on nitrogen sources to the West Fork. One study was led by the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology, and a second by the Gallatin Local Water Quality District. We're going to focus on data from 8 groundwater wells and 1 groundwater spring from these studies. Results found consistent elevated nitrogen concentrations ranging from 4 to 10 milligrams per liter in 2 wells and 1 groundwater spring that are on the southern section of the golf course, while groundwater nitrogen levels on the other side of the West Fork on the northern section of the golf course are relatively low. One of the wells with elevated nitrogen concentrations, called Two Moons, is upgradient of the Big Sky Golf Course and would not be influenced by irrigation water applied to the golf course. The Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology study also provided new information on groundwater flow paths in this area. The new groundwater flow paths are different from those previously estimated from topography and identified a new potential nitrogen source to the West Fork that was previously assumed to impact the South Fork. This new source is an unsewered subdivision with a community septic system that has been under compliance with the DEQ for over a decade, as well as other individual septic systems in the area. This could explain the elevated levels of nitrogen in the Two Moons well, as well as the other well and groundwater spring with elevated nitrate concentrations. Armed with this new knowledge, the task force approached the subdivision and the Big Sky Water and Sewer District to assess the feasibility of connecting the failing septic system to centralized treatment. This is a hefty price tag, but the HOA is working on forming a water and sewer district to finance the project costs. We are also working on providing centralized sewer to another section of the Big Sky community, which is along the Gallatin River, just south of the intersection of Highway 64 and 191, highlighted in red. This effort began 20 years ago and is close to becoming a reality. This slide shows modeled septic plumes in this area that threaten the health of the Gallatin River. Current conditions are shown on the left, with build-out displayed on the right. This area is part of another Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology study to better understand groundwater flow paths and the impacts of septic systems on the river. Motivation for this study came after plotting nitrate levels in the public water supply wells in the study area and identifying an upward trend over time in some of the wells. We expect to have the final report for this study by April 1st and are hopeful that the results will help our community most effectively guide wastewater treatment and reuse to improve water quality in the area. Thank you so much for your time, and a huge shout out to our partners at the Montana Bureau of Mines and Geology, the Gallatin Local Water Quality District, and the Big Sky Water and Sewer District.